Welcome people of the World Wide Web. So it's Cypher Sigma here, and it is another Monday and another collection in depth. So we're up to 38 episodes. So this takes us, I think we are over halfway or 2/3 of the way through the biggest wall. So two cabinets to go on that side and then one big one on the end, and that is the main collection done. And then obviously we have animation and anime behind me. So hopefully if you've been watching all these videos, I do appreciate you sticking in. I will switch to a new series once all that is done. I have a few ideas in mind. So if you have comments, maybe there's something you want me to switch, maybe something, seeing the collection, see how vast it is, if there's something you want to look at. But yeah, later this year, once everything has been shown, I won't go back over it and add all the shown the new titles. I will go with something new, which is hopefully fun and hopefully you will enjoy. But otherwise, this is what you've come to see, the collection, so we shall get straight into it. So as we continue on this week's episode of the collection depth, obviously we finished down there, don't forget the penguin. So we come up here and start to let me move some of these out. And then we can go from this. So we start off with The Good Wife. So we saw the first two seasons last time. Here is season 3. Let's put it down there. Season 4, obviously you get the same sort of gist. This is a series I finished, really good. There obviously was some character changes. Season 5, obviously Michael J. Fox had a guest star in it, which really did good. To season 6, and then essentially the final series. The ending I know is debated a little bit and stuff, but obviously with characters leaving and something or being written off. Next we have The Goonies, so great movies from the 80s. Showed this to my wife. The Grand Budapest Hotel, so this was on my scratch card of 100 films. Very zany, out there film. I thought it was okay. Got quite a good cast in there. Then we had The Great Gatsby, Leonardo DiCaprio. I did really like this movie, haven't rewatched it in a long time. Obviously The Great Dictator, one of the most expensive DVDs I've bought in a long time. I think it was 15-16 quid. The Great Wall, I really liked this movie. Maybe it's worth a Blu-ray update because I do like the CG in it. Oh look, and it is the Mandalorian there. I forgot he was even in it. The Greatest Showman, which you would have seen, I watched very recently. Then The Green Hornet. So the very poor reboot remake of this, in my eyes. It did have potential, but I think it just fell a little flat. And this is the annoying thing of trying to sort stuff out when stuff folds over. So let's put that there for the moment. Hopefully that will go back in. So all fun things. So then to carry on after The Green Hornet with The Green Mile with Tom Hanks, a great movie. Again, something I've not seen in a long time. Maybe need to give it a watch. And obviously Michael Duncan. Is it Michael Duncan Smith? Michael Clark Duncan even. Obviously passed away now, unfortunately. Then we have The Grey. Yeah, I weren't too happy with the ending to this movie. It had a good premise. Then we have The Grinch, obviously one of Jim Carrey's perfect roles. Worked really well with the suit. And then The Grudge. Don't really remember much about this film. This is a Japanese one. Can't recall it. So I'll just say I haven't seen it. Then we have The Guardian. I quite like this movie. That's why I rebought it. I know it got slated quite a bit. Actually got mentioned in Nurse Jackie season 2 that I was watching the other day. Obviously the stickers on it, so I do need to rewatch it. The Guest I picked up the end of last year. Quite a good movie. Action packed and stuff. Had quite a lot of potential with the main bloke and that. Then we have Guyver Dark Heroes. This is the second one, not the Mark Hamill one. The Mark Hamill one is the one I really want, but is again hard to find and quite expensive. Then we have the Hamiltons. So kind of vampires. And then we had the follow-up to the Hamiltons, the Thompsons. Not as great. The first one was quite good, I think, and then novelty wore off. Then we have The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. I did go back and rewatch this a few years ago. I thought it was okay. Again, I think you need to appreciate it nearer the time. Then with The Hangover
very funny movies at the time. Not seen them in a long time, probably since they come out. I think, like most people, Hangover Part 2, and then The Hangover Part 3. Again, I remember liking them. I have to probably rewatch them because they are quite funny. The Happening, Zooey Deschanel and Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, it's a little bit of a strange. Once you realise kind of what's going on, it makes a bit more sense, but still a little weird. The Hard Corpse, is it? Yeah, The Hard Corpse. Jean-Claude Van Damme. Obviously, the stickers on it, 50p, so I'm not expecting a lot. Never watched it. And then good old Michael J. Fox and James Woods in The Hard Way. Like this, missed out on the Steelbook. May get it one day if I pick it up cheap. Right. Next, we had The Haunted Mansion. I didn't mind this one. It's not the greatest of movies. I did quite like the new one as well. I know I'm in the minority with that one. The Heartbreak Kid. It's quite a funny movie. Quite a good cast. I think one of the later movies by Ben Stiller before he kind of doesn't do a lot of acting nowadays. Or not that I recall. Then with The Heat. You can't beat a bit of Sandra Bullock, and I didn't mind Melissa McCarthy in this one. I think this was close to the one I quite enjoyed this movie, and it kind of opened my eyes a little bit to Melissa McCarthy, and I don't mind her in stuff. The Help, really good movie, from like back in the day, and Emma Stone, kind of, I think, one of the first movies you got to show how good her acting talents were. The Hills Have Eyes. I have seen it, but it's been a long time. I can't really remember much. And it also has the Omen free sample and die. There we go. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Didn't really appreciate this one. Not a fan of the whole Hitchhiker's Guide before this anyway, so maybe it's lost a little bit on me. Then we have Hitch. So I believe this is the remake, obviously starring good old Sean Bean there. Boromir. Can't really recall it. Again, I think I have watched it. A great movie. As you see, I spent a little bit of money. 2 for 10. You know, those were the good deals. HMV 2 for 10, 5 for 20. I used to love taking advantage of that. This was great, the first one. Second one, I don't know what they were doing. Should have left it, but it is what it is. Then we have The Hole, Thora Birch, early in the late 90s, maybe early 2000s this was. Very interesting plot and very clever, I think, how they staged it all out. You don't really see many movies like this before. Then you have kind of the kid-friendly The Hole. Yeah, kind of built up to a premise and then very falls flat on its face, in my eyes. The Holiday. Let's get that off. One of my wife's favourite Christmas type of movies. I have warmed to this over the years, I must admit. The Host, I really like this one, obviously from a book, I believe. Yeah, the author. This is quite interesting, the aliens taking over and how it's up. And I really like this movie. Again, probably in the minority there, but it is what it is. Then we have the hot chick, Rob Schneider, in his comedy days. Didn't mind this one, very kind of turn your brain off and have a laugh. Then probably not many have seen The Hottie and the Nottie, a really bad Paris Hilton film, which is saying something. And then the final one on this row is The House, which I didn't mind. It was quite a surprise one for that. As people will know if you watch my channel, I find Will Ferrell very hit and miss in films. I'm not the biggest Amy what's her name, Amy Poehler, however you pronounce that. I'm not her biggest fan either, but I didn't mind that. Right, and then we will move down to this shelf. So with The House Bunny, Anna Faris in a kind of early 2000s comedy. Obviously Tom Hanks' son there. It was okay, remember. The Hunt, 2001, I think this was. I actually really like this movie. This is kind of a battle royale where people get kidnapped and then obviously let out of a box, and then they've all got to kind of escape. Really good. The main lady, Betty, she's from Glow, and that was a good series as well, which unfortunately ended too much. The Hunted, labels on it, 75p, never seen it, so unfortunately cannot comment on that one. Again, if you watch these videos, you see something that stickers on and you think it's a good film, let me know in the comments down below. Hurt Locker, really like this. Took me a long time to get round to actually watching this. And yeah, I thought it was a very powerful movie. I think it did win. Yeah, it did win an Oscar and Best Picture. I think it was well deserved. The Ice Harvest. Obviously, as you know, I'm a good John Cusack fan. Obviously, quite a good cast in this, but yeah, not the greatest movies in my eyes. Then we have The Idols of March. Not seen it, so I cannot comment. Again, I find good old Ken here, Ryan Gosling, very hit and miss sometimes. Maybe I might be in the minority for that. The Illusionist. Which one is your favourite? The Illusionist, or the one that came out not the Imagination Game, because that's what is the Hugh Jackman movie? Let me know in the comments down below, because it has escaped me unless it comes to me. But yeah, I prefer the other one to this. I know Video Tasties, we had a discussion on this, and I know he really liked this and gave a few good reasons, which makes me want to revisit it to give it another chance. And then we have Dr. Panagrisus, obviously one of the Heath Ledger last ones he did, I believed. Very, very weird movie. It was alright. The Incredible Burt Wonderstone. I actually thought this is a really, really good movie. If you like Steve Carell and you like kind of silly comedy movies, this is straight up your street. The Iron Mask. Obviously, Arnold Schwarzenegger there and Jackie Chan, who are barely in the film, to be honest, and that about sums it up, in all fairness. Then we had The Man with the Iron Fists. Again, kind of a bit of a potential where you had an Asian movie with American actors and actresses in it. Falls a bit on its face again. It is what it is. The Impossible, young Tom Holland's there. I really, really like this movie. Very, very impactful, obviously based on a true story. Then we have The In-Betweeners, season 1 and 2. Obviously, everybody loved that back in the day. And then, obviously, the first movie, The Pussy Patrol. I'm sure everybody's seen that. And then the second one, which I have seen, but the label's obviously still stuck on it. Then we have The Indian in the Cupboard. Loved this movie as a kid. Picked this up a few years ago. I didn't enjoy it as much now I'm an adult. I think maybe the gloss have worn off. Intern, a surprisingly good movie with Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway. I think it was kind of his Robert De Niro kind of going into slapstick kind of comedy wise, and he's done some good ones, done some bad ones. But The Internship, obviously The Wedding Crashers in another kind of format. It was alright. Then we have The Interpreter. I thought this was quite a good movie, quite a good twist and turn near the end. Have you seen the movie? What did you think? Then we have The Invasion, obviously Body Snatchers. This is, I believe, the remake. Yeah, didn't really hit home with me. Thought it was okay. Mr. Ricky Gervais, warmed him over the years, and actually surprisingly I do really like this movie. I thought this is quite an interesting role, and I think he plays it very well. The Invisible Man, love this movie at the cinema. Me and my wife watched this. It's kind of one of the scary, I wouldn't really say it's horror, but it was one she watched and she actually really enjoyed it, which is quite a surprise. It doesn't happen that often. The Islands, obviously if you haven't seen it, loads of clones. It was alright. Kind of, is it Jerry Bruckheimer? Michael Bay. I knew it was close. Action-packed. The Island of Dr. Monroe. I got this, I believe Mark Dacascos has a very small role in it. It's alright. Obviously, I think Marlon Brando, one of his last films. Then we have The Italian Job. Okay, that's in the wrong T-Crowd. Yeah, okay, so we have that one. So we've got a bit of a mix-up here. So we had the original Italian Job. I quite like this. It took me a long time, again, to watch this one. And after that one, sorry. So I like them both. Then we had the first series of the IT Crowd. My wife does work with IT and stuff. I've never got round to kind of watching it. Then we have The Jackal, kind of the assassin. I did quite like this movie. I thought, good Bruce Willis. I think it was still when he was doing quite good movies before it kind of took a bit of a back hill. The Jacket, Adrian Brody, Keira Knightley. Yeah, this is quite an interesting one. This wasn't the one I was just about to say. Adrian Brody is really, really good actor, and he does some oddball films. And this one I thought was good. Not as good as the one where he's in the car and he wakes up. If anybody can remember what that one's called, let me know. And then the final one, which is very disappointing, The Joneses.
There we go. That has been the next 2 shelves on my collection. Say anything interesting. If you're watching this, if there's films that I mentioned that I've not seen or cannot remember, please feel free in highlighting them to me. If there's something in the collection that you think I'm missing, again, comment down below. I'm always looking for suggestions, and I will happily go and buy it, even if it's on a cheap DVD, and watch it and see if it is worth it, or in my opinion. But there we go. I've been Cypher Sigma Screen Time. Hope you enjoyed this Monday video. Hopefully you have a great week ahead, and I shall see you in the next one.